Is this man right with his quarterback draft predictions? Let's get into it. Hey Coach Mack here. Welcome to my channel. This is the first time visiting my channel. Let me tell you what it's all about. The Cliff Notes version, football, offense, defense, special teams, interviews with legendary people like Kurt Warner, Wade Phillips, and this man right here who we're going to do a reaction video to today. This is something I've never done before. I want to try it out. We're going to react. Look at the views of this thing. We're going to react to what he thinks or who he thinks is the best quarterbacks going into the draft tonight. So buckle up. This is a brand new feature. If you think you like this, if you do like this and you want more of them, leave a comment down below. Let's get into it.
So before we dive totally into these rankings, I want to preface this, bookend it really on both sides. I'll try to do it at the end as well, that what I do on this channel is very, very, very triple for effect, incomplete as far as the analysis world goes for these NFL teams. What we're doing here is looking at film, trying to have fun with football, make it a little educational, see if we can kind of share some nuggets of the position.
That's one thing I like about JT is he doesn't get nerdy. He doesn't get in the analytics. He's just looking at it from two perspectives, which I think we can both agree on this. He's looking at it, one, from an NFL quarterback's perspective. He's been doing this he was in the NFL for 10 years. He knows what it's like, the ins and outs as a journeyman. And then two, as a high school football coach. That is a great perspective to have, one all the way up here and then one in the middle. I'm not bashing high school football coaches because I'm one as well. But I like that on his channel, he brings these two perspectives together, and that's what makes this that I'm so excited about talking about this NFL draft.
And have fun with it. What NFL teams are doing is they are analyzing every element about these prospects. And so we're not talking to the prospect. We're not asking them questions. I'm not following up with their coaches, with who they grew up with, their high school coaches, see their development, their maturity, project all those types of things.
Yeah, how does that? Like, I get sick watching a lot of film on the opponents that I have to play that week. After about Wednesday, I am freaking done watching film and everything like that. Yet these dudes are just grinding it out, looking. What can you look for? What are you staring at going, you know what? Are you rewinding, looking at the drop? Do you watch that over and over again? Do you watch every single video? It is unbelievable to me how people can watch this much stuff, and then I think you get paralyzed by analysis, by just the data, and you just look what's happening with the 49ers. They are freaking out right now. Probably when you're watching this, you'll know who they'll get afterwards. But right now, leading up to the draft, they've been going back and forth on who they want at the number 3 spot, and I think they have too much data to go on. If you go back and watch John Lynch's press conference, he's talking about they're watching all the live games, the Zoom meetings, breaking down film, bringing people in, doing all of that stuff. It is mind-blowing how much work goes into who we're going to choose, especially if it's a quarterback. And then you don't even know if it's going to be good or not if you made the right choice until 4, 5, 6 years down the line. That is insane.
I'm not doing that. All we're doing is looking at film, and then it's just my opinion. I try to do a decent job of not kind of listening to the noise. Now, I know, obviously, there are some jokes in there as well, because it's impossible not to listen to all of it all the time. But I really do try to make these just my takes. Okay? I'm not trying to project where someone's going to fit best. I'm basically saying, if for some reason I was in charge of the decision and I could control everything that I could possibly control, who would I want for the next decade, in what order? That's it. And it's not based off a total, complete analysis. It's only based off what I shared on the channel. I didn't watch other film. Everything that I watched, I put up. So if you have questions about, geez, how did this guy leapfrog this?
And that again, that's what I like. He's just going by what he's seeing on film. And I think a lot of people, draft analysts and everything like that, they are breaking down too much. They're putting too much data into their decision instead of just watching the film and seeing, hey, what is this person doing? Who does he have around him? Is he just popping off, but he has NFL elite talent around him? Then maybe that can come into your consideration. Or is he like just the dude on a subpar team and he's making all these plays? I really think that if you go back and you look at all of the great quarterbacks, excluding Tom Brady because he's an anomaly, there's a carryover. And I know I'm stupid, but if they did well in college, they're kind of going to do well in the NFL, especially at the quarterback position. And that's what he's basing his stuff on, is just film. What has he seen with his own two eyes, not bringing in analytics or anything like that. And I can totally appreciate that.
This guy, just go watch the video, because that's what I watched. I can't remember, besides for like the college football playoff games, seeing any of these games live. So again, the film is what it is. That's the part of it. I just want to reiterate, before people lose their minds, come at me in the comments. My takes, incomplete analysis. I do not have every video of all these guys playing. If I was really drafting a quarterback, I would go back and watch 2019 film a lot more, besides for just Trey Lance. Didn't do that. So again, incomplete. At best, incomplete. Now, I appreciate everybody watching it, enjoying it. I do think it's fun to do and fun to share little nuggets, especially things that project.
What does this say, though, about NFL draft analysis when he has to make this 30? I mean, this is almost 2-3 minute long introduction before he even gets to it. Like, hey, this is just my opinion. Don't throw shade at me. Don't come basing your entire beliefs on what you think your team should do on what I am saying. I'm just a guy on YouTube talking about this. They kind of said, I don't know if you've been paying attention to social media, but it has been going insane on the draft. If you listen to any sports talk radio, they're going crazy. It is it's like a huge spectacle. And this is just me paying attention to it now. Has it always been that way? Or is this something like, because of COVID, we are now even more engrossed in it and want to know the ins and outs and everything, and we're just hating on people that don't have the same alignment with our beliefs for our team? I don't know. And as you can see, there's Bella right there.
To what I think plays well on Sundays. But this list is not, hey, this guy fits best for your team, your system, your organization. This is, who would I like to have as the quarterback?
I would love to see JT,
my team, for the next decade,
be a GM.
So
let's get that
in that order.
On Twitter.
See if I can rattle them off here from memory. No surprise, right out the gate, Justin Fields, number 1. I think he's the best.
I completely agree. I completely agree with that. Justin Fields, I think he's getting crapped on for some reason. I don't know. If you come at it from this perspective, he was at Georgia. He couldn't play because they questioned his intelligence. I know some people I've talked to him that said that he just didn't get it, but Jake from Allstate was able to do it, making those NFL reads or whatever like that. So he left. He got crapped on. He goes to Ohio State. He pops off. He comes back. I would say that actually Ryan Day's offense is a little bit more difficult with the RPOs and the different kind of pass concepts and everything like that than Georgia's, and he just does great things there. He's athletic. He can beat you with his legs. He can beat you with his arm. He's smart. He knows his progressions. JT, I 100% agree with you right there, man.
So the best, no offense to Trevor Lawrence. I think he's also very good. But Justin Fields, for my money, if I was making that type of wager, that type of investment, I think he's got the highest ceiling. I think he's a very good player now.
Completely
I
agree.
love the toughness. I love a lot of what's going on. It's not perfect by any means. He's always been kind of that 1B selection in this course for many people. But for me, the separator were head-to-heads, were toughness, ability to bounce back. I love the curve of what I think is the improvement of what he...
Yeah, I mean, do we forget that he had a broken rib? He broke his rib, or that serious injury, comes back and pops off against Alabama, and this is Alabama that's... Okay, honestly, do we think as many times as this Alabama team could play the Jets, do you think there's a way, a slice of a percentage that they could actually beat the Jets? Because I think they do in 10 games. They could win at least one. That's how good Alabama was this year. And for Justin Fields to go in there, get hurt, come back, still perform at the level that he did, that shows a lot of mental toughness and grit, which I'm sure NFL teams would love to have. I don't know why there's a discussion where he's going to be falling down to like 23rd or something like that after this. Or what is the BYU quarterback shown that Justin Fields hasn't shown? That's what just boggles my mind, and I don't understand, and that's why I think JT should be the GM of an NFL team. We should really start trending that. Hashtag JT GM.
He's able to do. I think he's a freak athlete, crazy fast, and just stresses the defense better than anybody else in the draft. So for me, Justin Fields, number one. Next, Trevor Lawrence. Could easily be Trevor Lawrence, number one. Guy,
I don't.
A freak of freaks.
All right. So going back to what I said about Justin Fields and how they say he struggled at Georgia. He goes to Ohio State, does well, and pops off. I have talked to people at Clemson that have said that when you go back and you look at all of Trevor Lawrence's struggles early in the year, it's because there was too much stuff. The playbook was too big, so he struggled. And then as the year progressed, Dabo would cut plays and they would get simpler, and that's when he started doing really well. Can he do that in the NFL? Can he take that huge, and I'm not saying I know, shit no. I'm an NFL, I'm a high school football coach, but if you have to shrink it in college, can you turn around and get a complex playbook and perform? That's just the thing, and that's something that people aren't talking about when it comes to Trevor Lawrence, but they are with Justin Fields, and that just boggles my mind. I don't understand it at all.
Freaks, size, tall, dynamic athlete, been on the national stage for forever. Almost feel like, and I admit this bias, that I've almost had this idea of him being so good for so long that it's almost impossible to live up to that. And so
I completely agree. I mean, he won it as a what? He comes in and runs a quarterback off at Clemson and then takes the mantle, and there was not a discussion. And Clemson has recruited some really good quarterbacks as he was playing, but there was never that discussion of, hey, who's going to compete with Trevor? Why is Trevor in a quarterback competition? No, it was just like, hey, this guy this other 5-star that we recruited, he's going to have to sit this out until Trevor leaves. That's not that heard of in college football right now, because it always seems like every single year there's always a quarterback competition for every position, especially at the quarterback position, every single year.
I don't know if Jacksonville, if I was running it, if I would really kind of
although would you want to go to Jacksonville?
Because everybody's just locked in Trevor Lawrence at that position. Just looking off the film. That's all I'm doing. Going off the film that I've seen for these two guys, I like Justin Fields.
I do too.
Next, this one is going to throw people a little sideways, I think. I would prefer Trey Lance over Zach Wilson.
Yes.
Now,
completely
no
agree.
offense to Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson, upper body mechanics, throwing the ball, probably my favorite in the draft.
Now, here's the thing. That's the one thing I love about JT. Me, I'm a quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, not that good on the technique. Like, I know if I look at it, I know what looks good and what doesn't. He's a technician, man, and it is unbelievable. That's why I'm glad he said that. But I would go Trey Lance 2, Trevor Lawrence 3, because North Dakota State, I feel, runs a more NFL-type offense than Clemson. Clemson was more RPO, kind of like the Chiefs in a sense, but a little bit more run heavy. Whereas North Dakota State, I feel like, is a multi-level NFL pro-style offense that he did really well in, man. I mean, they're a dynasty. How many teams can you say are a dynasty at this level other than North Dakota State and Alabama?
Just think that Trey Lance, over the next decade, has a higher ceiling, can do more, is more athletic, and I think Zach Wilson's a very good athlete.
And again, I completely agree. I think Trey Lance, this is just me. I think he's going to be the steal of this draft. I think he's going to be the best quarterback on coming out of this draft and will make the biggest impact in the next 3 or 4 years just because of what he's been able to do and introduced at North Dakota State. That is just my personal opinion, and I would not be surprised if he was picked 3rd in this draft.
I just am not concerned. I think that he's younger, Trey Lance. I think he's got a higher ceiling, higher upside. And I think Zach Wilson is a very good thrower of the football.
I agree.
I have concerns a little bit of just what was the difference between 2019 and this. Can he keep that trajectory of improvement? Will he be able to run mesh every other play in the league? I'm joking.
Here's the funny thing. He's not joking, because check this screen cap out that I saw earlier this week. This is Zach Wilson's throw chart, and look, mesh, wheel. So that's all he threw when he was at BYU. JT is not lying. BYU made a living on mesh. Can you do that in the NFL? From every game that I've seen, no. Now again, I am a high school football coach. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I do know that you have to do more throws or more concepts than the mesh concept, unless you go old school Mike Leach and you just live in it, which if you can do that in the NFL, I'm going to slap you on the ass the next time I see you.
I think windows will be tighter. I think pass protection will not be as good. I think that is a very difficult division if he goes number 2 to the Jets.
Yeah.
I know that's not what this list is about, but if I was picking, and those 2 guys that I already mentioned, Fields and Lawrence, were off the table, I would want me to take Trey Lance. It would be hard to pass on Zach Wilson. He is very good. I think all 4 of those guys are very good. And all of them, any player taken in this draft, it's really going to matter where you go, what your situation is. Context matters. The organization matters. The staff, the stability, the division, winning right away, health, all these variables that are beyond the scope of this channel, this video. This is just next decade, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson.
Seriously, if you're one of those 4 guys, I would rather end up at the 3rd spot than the 1st spot, just so you can be with Kyle Shanahan, just so you can run that offense. You're working with a genius. Let's say, for instance, Urban Meyer. We don't know what he's going to do in the NFL. No clue. The Jets, whole new coaching staff, no idea what they're doing. But Kyle Shanahan, with that offense, oh my goodness, especially if you're kind of coming from a similar style, under center, power running, more run than pass type offense with Trey Lance, oh my goodness, that is who I'm going to go with when I am playing Madden next year on the PS5. Yes. So what do you think? Do you agree with JT's top 4? Do you disagree? Whatever you do, put them in the comments below. And if you like this type of video, this is the first time doing this video, I want y'all to let me know. Do you want me to do more? And until next time, let's continue to master the spread, score points, and have fun.